Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the world's greatest podcast there is. Sorry, I'll just. Was it?
That was by accident.
How's everybody doing? We hope you are well. You're going to be joining us for the next 59 odd minutes, and we are going to be talking about what to expect at your autumn race because race season's here. Berlin Marathon's here. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But before we do that, let's give our sponsors at Skechers a big shout out. Head over to skechers.co.uk and check out the new Aero lineup. Make sure you do that. We've got a crack team of elite specialists tonight. We've got all the way from the spa. She's going to try and stay awake. Beth's here. And she's ready and raring to go. But we expect her to sort of fall off towards the end. I think she'll start fast, Hayden, and then sort of, drift back into that.
Positive split, I'm anticipating.
Yeah. As you can hear, Wilco's here.
Hello, buddy.
And he's going to behave himself apparently tonight.
Always.
And then he's back from Sydney. Oh, no, you didn't go to Sydney, did you? But Hayden's here, and we're not allowed to mention the fact he hasn't got a Sydney finishers T-shirt, medal, or anything like, because apparently he got quite upset about how much Beth mentioned it last week. Right, team. It's a busy week, like literally a very busy weekend this weekend. Berlin Marathon straight away comes to mind. There's the new London, whatever it's called, event, and I'm guessing there's others obviously all over the country. So that's kind of mad. So how are we all doing? I think firstly, let's catch up with Wilco and see, because we haven't had Wilco on for a while. Wilco, what have you been up to, and what are you preparing for? Because you've got Vitality next week, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm doing Shoreditch this week, which is the new 10K that you were just alluding to in London. So I'm looking forward to that, getting a few... I'm trying to start picking up. I've signed up for the Great Eastern Run half marathon at Peterborough, which is the day when you boys will be off in Illinois, strutting your stuff in Chicago. I've sort of like drawn a line in the sand a little bit from the Great North Run, so I'm trying to behave myself. I'm trying to eat better. I've not had a drink for nearly 2 weeks.
Good for you.
So I'm trying to give that a go, trying to see if that can help my sleep and my training and stuff like that. And I'm feeling a bit better for it. So hopefully that will continue.
Oh, good. You're getting a lot of love in the comments. And again, thanks to everybody who's joining us live. We're recording this live. And that's a bit of a heads up, actually. This is our last live show. Basically up until Chicago Marathon. We've got some really good pre-recorded shows that Hayden and I have done. We've got coming next week, we've got a sort of, I suppose it's kind of insightful, was probably a good word, Hayden, right? In terms of, we've got the bloke who started the National Running Show on, because those tickets go on sale next week. And by the way, keep an eye on your emails and our socials, because we've got quite a few tickets to give away for free. So keep an eye out for that. We are back on the Saturday. We're going to, I wish I had another team, but we're going to be live entertaining everybody for the happiest hour of the show. We're going to be doing that. And we then got, should we tell them, Hayden?
Tell them everything. Just be open.
Right. So we're also going to be doing the official after show run. The rave run, right, has now become an official run, which is nuts. So that's going to be epic, and we're going to get you all to sign up for that. We're just waiting for a few other bits and bobs to come through. But what I would say to you is come along 100% to the Saturday. But tickets go on sale on 25th, is it, Hayden? 25th?
Next Thursday, I think they go on sale.
And we're going to have a code that's going to get you a free ticket. All right? So make sure you're on the mailing list for starters. So get on top of that. So that's exciting. But anyway, that's a really good episode. And it's not about, oh, yeah, the show, brilliant, blowing smoke up each other's asses. It's more about, right, how do you go about starting something like this? What was it all about? And actually getting inside that kind of thing. Like, how do you go about booking these people? and all that sort of stuff. It's really quite interesting. So,
I found quite interesting with it as well when you was talking about it. So went into it talking about, I think, it'd be the running show, it'd be good. But, we sort of, I think both of us put our hands up with that preconception where you think it's the same old thing, the same year, the same talkers. I think we've both said it before in the past. And you start talking to them, they tell you about new people that they've sort of tried to entice to the show, the direction they're trying to take the running show into. I was actually not blown away.
I have to say, right,
It's
I have to stand here and give them credit because I'm the first person to, like, obviously where they didn't want us back in that lot. Now, I still went to the shows, everybody knows, like when they didn't want us back on the stage. But I have to give them huge credit to them. They've had a change up in terms of some of their personnel, but they've also had a change up in terms of the way they're thinking. And I think they had to because it's a younger audience out there. There's a massive audience out there, and you need to do the best to get like all generations covered, all walks of life covered. And I think listening to it, they've really consciously taken that on board this year. And I think they've really taken some of that criticism about, it's the same old people coming up on stage and all this sort of stuff. I think they've really taken that on board to give them credit. I'm was the first person to criticise it. So massive kudos. Whether I'm on stage or not, I couldn't care less. But so it's important to give credit where credit's due. They've really done a great job with the lineup they've got this year. I think it will appeal to so many people. So yeah, fair play to them and all that. But we've also got a podcast with This Messy Happy, who are in Berlin. So good luck to those guys. They're running this. And then we've got the Sports Tours main guy on. Again, really insightful. Not talking about selling holidays, but like how the allocations work and all this sort of stuff. And getting inside that sort of thing. It's really quite interesting. Again, Hayden, that was a really interesting one, wasn't it?
Absolutely brilliant. As you say, you don't realise, I suppose, when you think about it, the operation from Sports Tours, what the stage is at now, it just, when it comes to sports tourism, especially with running and cycling, it sort of rules the world, doesn't it? And we're not talking about just being UK based. But when you start talking about just them as a UK company, get 1,000 spaces for New York Marathon, that tells you how big of an operation it is. And yeah, he's at the helm of it. And yeah, it's brilliant. I really, really enjoyed listening to him.
Yeah, that was a good show. And talking of which, I don't remember if you're listening to this, I've probably got a beautiful picture behind us. But of Sydney and that lot, because a friend of mine went there. But they're involved with the super halves, which you was at, Hayden, wasn't it? The thing. Have you done any of these super half things?
I haven't, but we were actually talking the other day because we want to get more city breaks in. I'm like, I've got an idea. So I think it's really good, like in terms of being able, like it's a structure, isn't it? It's a routine. You know where to go, you know when they'll be. So I haven't done any, but they are on my radar, and I'd really like.
So you are tempted. What about you, Wilco?
I haven't done any of them yet. I mean, I'm always up for a bit of a breakaway and going to different places and stuff like that and tasting new experiences. So I wouldn't rule it out for the future. And I'll say, I mean, they are very difficult to get into now, aren't they?
Well, Cardiff, apparently. Ben told me this. I had no idea. Ballot next year.
Yep.
Apparently, which I don't understand the logic behind that.
I think the logic behind it is they're all moving to ballot. I think that's the thing. At the moment, they've got, I think it's 3 of them that are ballot and 3 that aren't. And I think their logic behind all of it is let's make it the same.
Do we agree with that?
The thing is, it's difficult, but someone's got to come up with a solution with all of this. So we can all moan about London Marathon, 1 million people and only giving out 20,000. The thing is, everyone says about it, and I get it, but what is the solution? It's
well, London
really,
Marathon,
really
we sorted out. We told them what to do, London Marathon. We charge people up front the 300 quid.
Helps. Yeah.
Put the price up, give that extra money to the charity so they're banked in. And you say, so it costs you 75 quid or whatever it is. You say, right, the other, 200 quid or whatever is going to go straight to charity. Yeah. You can select from this list of charities. Bosh, you have it. But as soon as you get given that place, that money's coming out of your bank.
Correct.
Because that will cut half of that out. Because people just speculate, go, you know what? Oh, I'll go in now. I saw it looks all right. How hard can it be? You're going to stop a lot of that. I think that's a good thing, but also it gives money to good causes as well by doing it that way. I mean, that would take some real, like someone with some common sense to implement that, right? But I do understand it is hard to juggle because obviously the amount of people who want to do these things far outstrips what there is, the demand and that lot.
And it is one of the fairest ways of doing it. Just putting everybody in the draw and drawing.
Yeah.
There's lots of people say to that. Oh yeah, it's a ballot and everything, but it gives everybody a fair crack at the whip.
But I don't know. Something is I don't know. Something's not sitting right with me.
Yeah, I just think the ballot's not the issue. The issue is the people who don't take the places who get the place.
Talk about yourself. You've got to let Buds out.
I was your dog, was it? I wonder who was. I haven't got a dog. It was one of the other three. It definitely wasn't me. But that's the issue. I mean, we had this with the Great North Run, didn't we? They're saying, oh, there's 60,000 people, blah, blah, blah. And then the numbers came through and it was like 48. So lots of people went into that, got a place and didn't run.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem, that's where people get wound up because they think, well, I could have had that. I could have done it and I would have gone. Yeah. And there's always a certain sort of like injuries and things like that. There's always injuries.
Wilco, you've got to calm down. Poor old Hayden can't even get a word in. You've got to let the man talk.
No, listen, I'm agreeing with Wilco. It's part of that. And I think this goes back. Me and Chris had this conversation of late. We're going to have a whole topic about it at one point on the show. The whole thing about deferrals. And a lot of these races now are saying, we're not going to let you defer races. And they're not doing that, I don't think, because they're being mean. I think they're doing it because people, like you just said, are being tactical. And people are thinking, I'm going to get a place in London, even though next year, I know for a fact I'm not even here in April. I'm going away. But if I get the place, I get it. Now I'll just defer it to the next year, almost like banking it. And people are doing that with races. And that's not on you. You get the race, that should be the race for you. If you can't do it, there should be, I think they should try and compensate you somehow. But, it's not fair and people do that. But life isn't fair, is it? It's a game of chance. You just got to, hopefully you'll be the lucky one.
They ain't going to win. Either way, the race organisers ain't going to win. No. I think London's a separate case, but because I think there's something needs to change there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I like ballots. Maybe I'm just burnt because I didn't get into Tokyo. Maybe I just got the ump because I don't like ballots at the most and didn't get to Tokyo. And then I went on to sports tours, whatever they're called, $9,000.
Yeah,
I think, hang on a minute, that's a bit punchy, isn't it?
And that's probably without flight, I bet.
Yeah, that's exactly without flights. And obviously you've got to fly first class. Actually, you had a shocker in Copenhagen, didn't you, with the weather?
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? To be fair, me and Lou have had a shock of all these super halves. We had bad weather in Lisbon at the start, hammering it down. Copenhagen, the whole race hammered it down. And where else? Somewhere else, it just didn't stop. Valencia. Everyone says, go Valencia. It's always sunny. We went there, it absolutely hammered it down the whole time.
But not bloody rain in Chicago. I'll knock you out.
But I don't mind. The rain ain't too bad. As long as you just got to accept it. It's one of the things we just got to put up with it. You just got to do it.
You just reminded me, right? Now, I don't know if actually, before I answer the question, did anybody sign up for the Great North Run membership that was out? Or have anybody still got that membership?
I've still got a year to go.
Beth?
Mine ended this year, so I got the message. So I know what you're going to talk about.
What's your false?
It's a bit harsh.
Because let's just clarify it. So it was how much? 75 quid?
I think it was 7. I think it's 70 quid for 3 years.
Yeah.
All right, wait, but it was for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. This year, everyone got an email. I don't know what this is. This is an opportunity. If you pay this, you bypass the ballot and you can take a place. But it costs you, in theory, an extra X amount per year because, like, coming to this case, about 40 quid. But you bypass the ballot once you've done it and you can pay this membership fee and it allows you in. You still, so you still have to pay your entry fee on top of that and all that sort of stuff. But they reduced it to 2 years. Beth, carry on because I'm going to read out because there was a lot of upset about this. Go on.
I think it wouldn't have been so bad if it was maybe the same price and then it was 2 years. But I think it's the fact that it's gone up and it's a year less. I think it's like a double whammy. So for me, it makes me think a bit more like, how much do I really want to do Great North Run? And going back to conversations we've had previously, it is iconic. It is kind of the greatest half marathon in the world and so on and so forth. And when you split it, it's like it's a chunky race entry fee anyway. When you add then another 40 quid on, it does put it out of range for a lot of people as well.
100 quid.
Yeah, so then you start thinking, is 100 quid worth it for running along a dual carriageway and getting a medal at the end? So it just makes you think a little bit more. It is right for some people. Some people haven't done it before. It's a way of guaranteeing your way in. Kind of, we were talking about the ballots just then. It's a way around the ballot. But for me and my mum, we decided against it because either we'll do it for charity and get a guaranteed place or we'll just come along and support. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we ended up. It priced us out of it, I think.
And I think that's an interesting thing, right? So there was a lot of uproar about this within the community in the club, wasn't there, Hayden, to be fair? There was a lot of people who were a little bit, I'm getting closer so I can read this, but it's just showing me age. There's a lot of people who are massively put out by this. And when I read it, I was like, okay, but before I give my 2 cents on it, I actually contacted, because we're lucky enough to have obviously media contacts and stuff. And I contacted them and asked them to give them a chance to comment, which I think you'd agree is the right thing to do.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
So they've always got the right to reply. So I'm just going to read out, right? So this is from their media team. So this is what they said in regards to the price hike and the reduction in the years from 3 years down to 2. We're continually reviewing our offering across all events with the aim of providing the best products for a wide range of customers. As part of this process, we've made some changes to the Great North Run memberships for 2026. Great North Run memberships have remained largely unchanged for a number of years. However, in line with several other changes to our wider offering, we have this year updated the Great North Run membership to better accommodate customer demand from charity runners, one-time Great North Run entrants, and regular Great North Run entrants. With demand to take part in the Great North Run at its highest it's ever been, reducing the membership to 2 years gives more people more of a chance to take part. In addition to a guaranteed entry, we have included additional benefits this year, which we believe make the 26-27 Great North Run membership good value for all. We provided a short priority entry window for expiring members to purchase 26 memberships to reward existing members for their loyalty, whilst also trying to make it as fair as possible to everyone who's trying to secure entry into the next year's event. Okay. In case you saw, I also attached a press release following the ballot closing, announcing that it was the biggest ever ballot with a 25% increase in applications. So what I take from that, really, I don't know what the additional benefits this year are.
There was 2 tiers. There was 2 tiers of membership, I think. One of them was like the 85, or you could pay more and get something else. I didn't read it in that much detail. By the time I read the 2-year thing and it had gone up, I'd lost interest.
To be fair, I like the bit about the fact that they've reduced it to give more people in the ballot a chance of getting in. I think that's actually a good idea. Wait. I think that's actually, in fairness, not a bad thing, because as we always say with like the London Marathon, you know, everyone keeps doing it, and getting these. It reduces, you know, the amount of places that are open in the ballot because they've got, you know, X, Y, and Z. So I can understand the logic of that. That makes sense to me in terms of they're trying to open it up for more people. To be honest with you, the rest of it just sounded like we're putting the price up because everyone else has, and we know they're going to pay it because people are buying. People are just into running. It's pure, you know, demand. You can't blame them for being commercial in that respect because they're a business at the end of the day, and they're there to make money, right? And it's just a sign of everybody. And you can say the same about the Saucony 10K in London. The price of that, you know, it's the same. It's the same deal, isn't it? Really, when you think about it, all the prices are going up, and unless somebody says no, we're not going to pay this anymore, i.e. you and me, Hackney Half's another example, right? But you're going to pay it, aren't you? Because you want to be in it. So I don't agree with it. I think it's a bit strong.
I think having still got a year to go, when I read that thing, it brought a lot of things to light to me. I thought, this is another extra cost. Now, I've done it 6 times. And we talked about last week about it's not the greatest run in the world. And then I'm thinking, yeah, well, and I have to go through a whole year of sorting out my arrangements to make sure that I get a hotel room. And I found out that I booked a twin room in a travel lodge, and it cost £250 for the Saturday night. And that same room was available for 28 quid 2 days later. And it's a big, I've got to get the train up. I've got to sort everything out. You know, it was great, all the 4D stuff that we organised and all that brilliant. But the vast majority of my mates, I can see in the Montague Pike after we've done a race in London, and it's not going to cost me the same sort of money. So now I'm thinking, do I really want to make that big outlay when just because I've paid the equivalent of about 20 quid to get the place, do I really want to do it next year? Because that's just the way that the thing's going. It just seems the tip of the iceberg. And now I'm just thinking, do you know what? I don't think I'll go.
So I think they may have I'd say 25% increase in thing, but they may have underestimated it. I don't know what the membership take up was like, but I remember a few years ago the membership sold out within like an hour or something. It looks like, I might be wrong, it looks like it's still for sale. I might be 100, Wilco, if you have a look at that. But
you really had to be quick off the mark, because I bought 2, so this is the end of my second membership, and it was like book the morning off work and get on, But it used to be like that.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's backfired or not, because I think, as I think you said, Beth, if you really want to do it, and I did it the first year I did the Great North Run. There's that amazing picture of me, you looking very youthful, Hayden. When I ran it for charity, and I think it was a raise of about 300 quid. And obviously that I think I might be wrong, but I think that included the race entry as well.
Yeah, it does. It does.
That's the way. If you really want to get into it, maybe you do the charity route, because it's probably not much difference.
I think a little bit on that statement, there's a little bit of contradiction there as well, because they said about they want to make sure that it's open for more people, so more people can get membership, more people can get the ballot. But then they turn around and say that they're going to reward people who've got the membership that's run out by having a window purely just for them. So before they go on to public sales to other people who haven't got membership, they're going back to their old members. So that's a little bit contradictory in what they're saying there as well in their statement.
Yeah, but you've got to remember, they're just trying to fluff it up by saying, we put the prices up because everyone else has put the prices up, and we've shortened it because then we can make more money. I mean, no one's thick around here. We all know why it is, but we've got to give them the opportunity to say that. And fair play to them for at least coming back and giving, having the right to do that. So fair play to them for doing that. Beth, you got anything to finish on this one?
I think Fletch put it right in the comments. If you want to pay for the membership, then pay for it. If you don't want to pay for the membership, then don't pay for it. It's kind of one of those things that it's happened. It's not our decision. It's not potentially what we would do. And it has a time and place. I think we've all got our views on it. But if you want to do it and it's right for you, then do it.
I agree. And I think Rob Hallam in the columns made a good point as well. He said it's cheaper than a meal in Copenhagen. And Copenhagen is proper dear, it's silly. But in general, if you went out for a meal with your missus, you don't even have to go over the top these days. The bill's going to be over 100 quid. And you're out for a couple of hours having a meal. And you think, well, the Great North Run, a big run like that, be a part of a big event, everything that goes on there, I can go down the local place and have something to eat. It's 100 quid as well. When you start comparing like for like, is it that bad? Probably not. Everything's expensive. The world's expensive. You just got to suck it up, ain't you?
Yeah. I think it's as you say, everybody, as we always say on here, everybody's welcome to do whatever they want, and good luck to you, as long as you're having a good time and you're getting out, you're doing some running, you're doing it for the reasons you want to do it. It's great news. Do you know what I mean? It's like crack on sort of thing. But as we said, I can understand why people got a little bit put out by it. Do you know what I mean?
I do. Do you think Dan Morris in the comments there? I think that's an absolute fantastic point to make there. Or he's put, is the current boom in running likely to be affected if people just can't get into or afford to get into these big races, as that does a lot to attract people into the sport in the first place?
Yes,
yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah,
really
I think I'm making right, and I think that's a really good point. And I think at some point we're going to see a step off, aren't we? We was talking about this the other day. By the way, it's got nothing to do with the subject, but we were talking about this on our long run the other day about how, make you laugh, like when I'm 50, which is
next year,
a long time. Hey, piss off, you, a long time away. But in a serious point, running, hopefully, for myself only, it's probably slipped a little bit in terms. So there's probably a higher chance of me getting into, something. And all this kind of thing, maybe the times for, like, I don't know, Boston, they settle because they keep knocking them down because people more people are doing it and more people are coming and they're all faster. Yeah. So, is that at some point going to just I'm not saying they're going to put the time back, but I'm just saying, is there going to be less people applying in those age groups? Because, as you say, people then get a bit fed up of never getting anything. I saw a geezer, as you'd imagine, on TikTok. He was having a right old rave about the fact that he can't get into anything. Like, he said, I've applied for this, I've applied for that, and I can't get into any. Because, again, Tokyo sent him the other way. And it's a really good point. Is it going to get to that time where people will go, you know what? It's just, I might as well go
all bubbles burst,
mate. You guys do high rocks, but you can't get in them either.
No. All bubbles burst, don't they? You know, eventually.
Oh, yeah, and they will, right? And this is the thing. It's like, what point is it going to burst?
I think it burst last week when he swanned off to go to Sydney, really.
Last point on this, right? Before we get on to what we're meant to talk about. Actually, I would mind talking a little bit about Berlin. And thanks everybody for sticking with us on this. We've got this new race on Sunday, yeah, in London, in a part of London that I'll be quite honest, and it's my ignorance, I would never have thought they'd put a race on, right? That's just my ignorance in terms of Shoreditch. And I'm sure it's going to be absolutely brilliant. It's not one that I would have thought, if I was putting a race together, I wouldn't necessarily have thought of putting one in Shoreditch. That's not a good thing, bad thing. It's like, you know what I mean? And Fulham showed that it can work very well because Fulham was excellent, and I'm expecting, an excellent race. But the question I thought of is, do we actually need more of these sort of races? Do we need more? Yeah, I don't know.
Can you expand on that, mate? When you see these sort of races, do you mean sort of like around like urban races in London, or 10Ks generally, or what's your thinking behind that?
Big ticket 10K races, like for example, we just had the A6 London X 10K, Wembley 10K, worst name ever, worst organisation ever. And now we've got this. So again, I can understand Wembley to a degree, even though we didn't run through Wembley. And maybe that changes next year because Coldplay won't be on at the same time. Hopefully that's the case. And we start and finish.
They probably will be.
But at least, in fairness, at least at Basildon, the Basildon half they started on a racetrack. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but anyway, I just think, is it going to get saturated? Because they've got this race that I think only sold out last week. Are we getting to that point again of that saturation? Because these big ticket events, they're quite expensive. Well, not quite, they are expensive. Again, this is somebody who doesn't pay for most of their race entries, by the way. So I'm, pot kettle, I totally get that, right? But is there going to be a point, like whoever said it, that people go, well, I can't get into that because it's sold out on day one. Can't get into that because it's so bloody expensive. Can't get into that because it's in London again. Because everything's in London. Do you know what I mean? Like these big tickets.
Come to Carlisle.
No, that's my point. That's my point, right? So going back to give some love to the Great North Run, up in Newcastle. I know it's not that, far north as you can go. But surely, I don't know, would it not be cool to do like, something somewhere else instead of Shoreditch? I don't know.
Yeah, but they do. To be fair, when you start looking at things like Run Through and that, they do. There's a Newcastle 10K, there's a Sundance. It's all over the country.
I'm talking the big ticket ones, Hayden, which has got big brands behind it.
Getting the brands behind them. Yeah, you're spot on with that. But then surely London isn't. London is the capital and is the metropole. We know that. But Manchester, Birmingham, they're starting to match them like for like on everything now. So surely these big events are going to be like all over in these big cities. Surely.
I think as well that you made the point earlier when you were talking about the National Running Show about a younger audience and all that sort of thing. I think these are attractive to young urbanites. Like they like these races, don't they? It's full of them. When you go, I feel like someone's granddad when I turn up. Yeah. But I think that's, and obviously that's a great marketing group as well. And young people, disposable income. They're great for brands. That's who they like, isn't it?
But wouldn't it have been cool to do this in Liverpool? Do you know what I mean? Like,
there used to be a really good race in Liverpool Rock and Roll.
Yeah,
that was really good. I enjoyed that one. Yeah. And that was a bit like, it wasn't a brand sponsored one, but it had music all the way around. Like the city was buzzing. So yeah.
I don't know. Listen, it's just probably me, old miserable. as usual. But I don't know. I think we're getting to that point. I think maybe where not necessarily things are going to change, but I don't know. People like the fact that people are now thinking twice about the membership. Like I said, that would sell out instantly on the day. This Shoreditch 10K, it didn't sell out straight away like the Hackney Half and stuff like that. They only sold out, I think, last week or the week before. I might be totally wrong. Again,
Chris, I just really ask you quickly. So take Hackney, Landmarks, and Great North out of the equation. Are there any other half marathons you can think of in the UK that are in such demand like this that they sell out or they go to
Cambridge?
Cambridge
went in like an hour.
Right.
It was unbelievable. That was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It opened at like 10 o'clock and then quarter to 12, they were like, we're sold out.
Royal Parks?
Yeah.
Well, that's a ballot, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a ballot, but I think Cambridge is a really good example. Oxford went that way. I don't think Bath sold out yet, but they're trying to build Bath up. London Marathon Events have that one now in terms of the halves. I don't know. I just like to see. I really enjoyed the Manchester half when I went and did that. I thought that was epically good. I don't know. I just think like Liverpool would be pretty awesome if that had like a similar sort of thing to like the A6 London 10K, the A6 Liverpool 10K, something like that. You know what I mean? I just think that'd be really awesome. But yeah, so there we go. That's what I just wanted to touch on it. What's that, Beth?
Shout out for the Cumbrian Run. You can come in for Kendall Mint Company. They're there.
Yeah, exactly. You could do all that. This is what I'm saying to you. We need to get, I don't know.
Get out and about, mate. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, but the demand's there, as we know. Look, the fact that Cardiff's going to a ballot as well.
But again, to be fair, Cardiff's going to ballot because it's part of Super. If no disrespect to Cardiff Half, but if it wasn't part of the Super Half series, it wouldn't be nowhere near as popular as what it is. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Barcelona Half. You can get in right now. You can just go and book on Barcelona Half. It's like €25. We're talking Barcelona. It's a big city.
That one.
Madrid Half, you can go. It's a rock and roll. Madrid Half, you don't have to. There's no ballot, nothing involved like that. These aren't expensive races, but then, as you said, something pops up like Cambridge Half, and you're like, it sells out straight away. It's just nuts.
I think Cambridge does because it's where it sits in the calendar. It's a great spot in the calendar for people doing like spring events and things like that. I think that's why. And there's I think it's got a lot of people who know it's a fastish course. I think they changed it, didn't they? Wilco, the course.
I've not done it since they have changed it, but yeah, I understand that they have.
Yeah, it's a funny old one, isn't it? It's a funny old one, but yeah, we can't go back to Cambridge because Simon upset them all. I ain't joking either.
I'm going. I'm doing it.
I should have framed that email I got from the organisers. They really weren't very happy. He still gets comments now, right? When we go to races, Simon. But no one knows what I'm talking about. We were lucky enough to go along and do the Cambridge Half, and we filmed it and all this sort of stuff. And my mate Simon and admin, to be fair, I think even Stoke, they weren't that enamoured about it. And I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Yeah, but Simon really went to town on it. But anybody knows Simon. It's just the way he is. I mean, he does it on all races. But he really went to town on them. And he got a lot of hate in the comments on the video, and then proceeded to get more hate for about 2 or 3 years later. Every person who saw him mentions the fact that his rating of the Cambridge Half. And even the media company that were doing it, I don't know if they're still doing it now, they were really upset with the video as well. But it's just funny the fact that people still remember him at races and give him a hard time about what he said about the Cambridge Half. It gives me such pleasure to see that happen. It's like when people shout "Speako" at Speako. It's great because he hates it. So yeah, just keep doing it. Okay, right. So also, what to expect? Oh, actually, I was going to talk quickly about Berlin actually for 2 seconds because there's that's going on this weekend. Another major, bit like the Sydney Marathon, really. That's a world major as well. You didn't go to that one, did you? No. Friend of mine went there.
I've done them all. No, I've done the main 6, so that's what it matters.
Main 6, interesting. But yeah, so Berlin's this weekend. Big shout out to everybody who's out there this weekend. We've got quite a few people out there. Hayden, just quickly from you, what's your overriding sort of? And I know you hate, like, with a passion, I mean,
I don't hate anything.
It's not even right to discuss it. How anti-German you are, right?
What a load of crap.
Well, we've all heard you hammer Berlin Marathon every time you've spoken about it.
That's nothing to do with Germans. And I don't hammer it. You talk so much rubbish. And we both said it as well on Marathon Talk. People go back and listen. We both agreed that the finish at the Brandenburg Gate is right up there, probably one of the best out of all of the majors. The Brandenburg, it's worth doing the Berlin Marathon just to go through that gate. That's a fantastic feeling. I'm just not a lover of the course.
Here he goes. They can't help it.
No, it just weren't great. Went through a lot of housing places. And go on then, let's go for it. The support was rubbish. They just shout. I don't know what it was. There's just something about it that weren't good. It's grey and miserable both times I think I've done it. I don't know. It's not that bad. And I wish everyone out there the best of luck. And Fordy, just to put your mind at ease, we got a real good representation from the club out there, staying in the Elites Hotel where all the press is and everything, all the cameras. You know who's staying with them?
Kieran.
Our favourite, Kieran Stubbins. So they're represented. He's representing the club with all the elites in the press. So
brilliant.
We're safe.
I'm the complete opposite of Hayden. I really enjoyed it, and I really like Germany. I really loved the people. I thought they were loud. I thought they were great on course. But I have to say, I thought the start also was pretty. The thunderclap at the start,
yeah, it was good. Yeah,
that's really good as well. That's something that you don't get, that I've not experienced. Anywhere else. So that was really good. They changed the expo this year. Apparently, it's a lot better.
Oh, I've seen pictures today. It's a complete different location.
It's
a lot bigger. Yeah, much better.
That's meant to be a lot better. But I think we had a comment in the chat. Race day running. Berlin was crowded last year. Horrible experience. It was very busy last year. We all said it. It was almost too busy. So it's a funny old one, isn't it? It's a great run. It's a great one to try and get into if you can. I would suggest. It's a little bit easier for us to get to, I would say, because you just hop on a plane and get over that way. Obviously, it's expensive, but if there's something you're looking to do, I would recommend it. I know Hayden wouldn't.
No, he's so I would definitely. I'd recommend doing all the world majors and Berlin.
Would you recommend doing it if it wasn't a major?
No. Although I am going back for the super halves in March, but still,
he's going to get lynched. He's going to get lynched at passport control. You said what about us?
I'd like to do all the capital cities all around Europe and do it. Everyone's basically got a marathon, haven't they? Budapest is meant to be absolutely fantastic marathon or half marathon. So yeah, all of them are good. They've all got good points. They've all got bad points. I could sit and slag off bits of London Marathon, but no, it is what it is.
It's like being on LBC, isn't it, with him? You know, he's just gone off on a big rant.
It's a bit strong, I think.
I'm diplomatic. I'm very diplomatic.
Okay, right. So getting back to try and get us out of trouble here. It is autumn's here next week. Autumn's here, by the way, just so you're all aware. I know it didn't feel like a day 25 degrees, but autumn is here next week, and it's autumn race season. As we said, we've got Berlin Marathon, we've got Shoreditch 10K, and all that sort of stuff. So I want to talk about sort of what to expect from autumn, because I think autumn races, I feel, have a different vibe than spring. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Hands up. Do they? Hands up for you? No? Hayden's umming and ahhing?
Yeah, I sort of get. I think I know what angle you're coming out of it. Yeah.
Well, explain more.
I think you get different demographics of people that train at different times. If I'm honest with you, there's certain people that like training through the winter for that spring marathon, and then there's certain people that like training through the summer for that autumn race. And sometimes you obviously get the same people do the same races, but they have different experiences leading up to that. And obviously, race day conditions can be absolutely, completely different as well, depending on what time of the year it is. So I sort of get where you're coming from. There is different dimensions for it. I
don't know. I think there's a different vibe about autumn races versus spring races. I think I might be wrong, and it's not. We're not talking marathons here. I'm talking all races, yeah, because it's the same when we rock up to the winter 10K and all this sort of stuff, right? But I just feel like the vibe. I think you've come out of like hibernation in winter. Like you've been wrapped up in 52 layers, yeah, 8 snoods, 4 bobble hats, you know, all that sort of stuff. And you get on the start line in spring, and I don't know, it just feels like there's an energy about it because, you know, you've got through the worst of it in terms of the training and all that sort of stuff, right? I just feel there's something there. Autumn, it feels like a little bit more, I might be wrong, but a little bit more chilled out. like everyone's obviously happy, ready to go, and enjoying themselves. But it doesn't feel like it's as there's as much anticipation around the races. I'm happy to be corrected, Wilco.
Yeah, I always find it often, if it's with the calendar, often I'm finding that I'm playing catch up a little bit because I may have done a marathon in the spring and then subsequently doing one in the autumn. Do you see what I mean? And sometimes I feel like it's like the second half of the journey of the whole year. Obviously, we've just talked about the Great North Run. That has a big bearing on the whole of the sort of like the autumn calendar, whether I've got a marathon or not. So that's always a big thing that in the past I've really looked forward to and really wanted to crack on with. So I don't really know if it feels that different.
Really. Robert Hallams just mentioned something, and I think this is a brilliant, right? He said, was it better when London Marathon was in October? I have to say, Robert, I thought it was a different vibe. It had a different energy about it. Yeah, and as somebody obviously has done, Christ knows how many Londons, but it felt different, and it was a different vibe. Not bad or worse. Yeah, it just felt different. It just felt a little bit more chilled out.
There's a massive caveat for that. Sorry to interrupt you there, mate. There's a massive caveat for that. You got to remember it come in October because it just come back off the back of COVID. Remember, that was the first one back.
Yeah.
And no one had done this big, massive scale marathon, especially not London Marathon, for a year and a half. People were a bit nervous. The crowds were a little bit down. People are still thinking about COVID. So I think that a lot to play with that.
Happy to take that involved. Yeah, take it. What differences would you say are there for sort of race day logistics versus autumn stuff versus like the spring stuff? So whether it's race kit, getting up early, it's dark when you go. I don't know. Any thoughts on that, Beth?
I think weather's a big thing for me. So I have Raynaud's. So I get cold like so easily. Raynaud's is basically where your fingers go like white and all that kind of stuff. And so thinking about prep, when you go like spring, summertime, it's more reliable. You know what to kind of expect. You hope it will be sunny, a bit warmer. Even a few degrees can make like all the difference. So when we're going to like autumn, winter, you just have to think that a little bit ahead. So you might be warm running, but like once you finish, you'll cool down really quickly. So it's that side of things as much as like the beforehand. So I think weather's a big thing. And then kind of the motivation, you can't really put a word on it. But when it's like spring, summer, like I'm really motivated. I'm sure a lot of people are by the sun, or like the weather's lovely. You want to get out, you see like nice views. You want to get out there. When it's dark and miserable and like cold and damp, like, do you really want to be out there? And you almost have to like force yourself out the door or force yourself to a start line. When you get there, it's ace. But it's that feeling, it's that extra effort to get out the door, not just put your trainers on.
Okay. Hayley, where are you at with this?
Yeah, I think the same sort of terms, Bethany. A lot of running, a lot of everything is motivation. People talk about losing mojo and not about it is about motivation. It's whatever motivates you. And I do think a big part of it is getting out there. We were talking about it at the Run Club Thursday night. People talking about it was the last time we was actually getting together within the park where it was still light. And we know in 2 weeks' time when we go back to that location, we're going to have to be out on the streets because the parks, you just can't run them because they're too dark. And it's getting ready for that run, isn't it? I think we joked about it before. Actually, might have been speaking out. Simon said about if you're going to go out for a 5 or 6K run, sometimes it can take just as long to get bloody ready than it can to go and do the run. By the time you're putting all the kit on and the lights, you've got to charge the lights, you've got to do everything. It can be demotivating. You've got that extra thing to think about, that extra thing that you don't really want in your mind. You want to be able to go out, run, and enjoy it, and just not even worry about stuff. And in the summer and stuff, you obviously can.
Here's a question then. What do you prefer? Spring, summer, or autumn races, Beth?
Summer.
Okay. Hayden?
Autumn.
Really? You like autumn?
I like training through the summer. Yeah.
Okay. I get that. Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. I'll come back to that. Yeah, Wilco.
Well, I've just had a look at my times for my 7 marathons, and the 4 spring ones were my 4 fastest ones, which I thought was quite interesting. I prefer the spring. I think I get like that run up to Christmas. I don't worry about Christmas. It's sort of like, right, it's marathon training. I'm charged. I'm ready to go. So I feel a lot more energized as sort of like the beginning of December. Right, we're cracking on. We're on the plan now. Then I do sort of like, oh, blimey, I just done a marathon 6 weeks ago. Now I've got to start a plan again. I just feel like I have my extra energy to do it in the spring.
Okay. Do you prefer, because like Hayden just said then, he obviously prefers training through the summer. I'm with him on that. I'm not particularly.
I do as well. Yeah, I do. But it's a daylight thing. I like the option of sort of finishing work, bang, switching my computer off, get my trainers on and going out, which I'm much less inclined to do in the winter. And also I'm terrible at getting up in the morning. So I really have to sort of like drag myself out to go out and do a run before work in the morning. That's a big issue for me. So racing, probably racing in the spring is great, but training in the summer's better.
Buds is back. He's a bit lame. He's not very well actually.
Oh no!
He's got a bad leg. You're right, mate. Anyway, I'm with you. I don't know. I mean, it's a funny one. I don't know. It just got me thinking this week. I don't know. When I keep thinking of Royal Parks when I keep thinking about this. Yeah, I know. Beth, have you ever done Royal Parks?
I haven't. I've entered the ballot a few times. But I've never got in and never got round to getting a charity place. So
you never got in the ballot. It's a thing going back to the ballots. So you're tempted to do that, are you?
Yeah, it's one that like I'd really fancy doing, and it's the same with Vitality. I'm absolutely gutted that I had to pull out. But it's like one of these races that whether it's just the London vibe, being a northerner. Like, you're all so lucky to have all these races on the doorstep and here, there, and everywhere.
And all we do is moan about how much they cost.
Yeah, we just sit and moan about 50 odd minutes and moan about. No, but I think there's definitely, again, I'm showing my ignorance here. But there's definitely, I just think some of these, they need to be more of these like, I want to come up. More of these big, I'm going to have to get Buzz up. Come in. He's not very well. Here he is. He's got a bad leg. He's got a bad leg. He wants to see me. Talk to me about it. You want to talk to the people about it? Tell them about it, Buzz. But yeah, it's. I just wish that some of these bigger things would be going on in other parts of the country, so we could then, like, I would happily travel up like I did for the Manchester stuff. I had a really good weekend. Like the Leeds stuff is brilliant. The Leeds 10K, the Leeds half, fantastic events. Yorkshire Marathon, brilliant event. It'd just be like it'd be great to see some of them scaled a bit. I think. I don't know.
But I think the problem as well, I think you spoke about it before, and again, it's probably ignorance going to get slated. I feel they can draw a line through the UK, and I feel, as we come down south, it is more about the brands. It's more about the youngsters. It's more about how we always talk about the TikTok generation. It's all that. Whereas once you get to that middle ground, you start going up north, it seems more about the run, about the community, about the fun, about raising money for charity. It just seems all about that. There's such a different vibe between London Landmarks and Great North Run. Yeah, just chalk and cheese. Leeds Marathon and London Marathon. It's just that different thing. Once you start going further north, I think that everything just changes the whole outlook with running. And obviously, some people prefer that southern youngster thing. Some people prefer that more community-based.
But look at Manchester. Manchester, a lot of brands are based out of there and stuff. They've got big support up there. I don't know. I don't know. Look, we're talking about something totally different now. It's more. I really want to just to touch on this sort of autumn thing because I don't know. Maybe I'm talking absolute bollocks like usual, but it just feels like there's a different vibe in some of these races versus that expectation of the spring big races. I don't know. See
if you can think back, Chris. I don't know how good your memory would be of it.
I'm brilliant. Don't forget I'm autistic, so I remember everything.
Okay, Rain Man, let's go.
Yeah, so, exactly it.
Vitality 10K. Always used to be what? April, was it? April, May?
May.
It was May. And now, obviously, the last couple of years, 3 years now, they've moved it till September. Can you remember, was there a different vibe from the May one to the September? And was it better?
I think it was better in May. It's like
Yeah,
the
but
big half. I think the big half was better in March.
Right.
Yeah, because it was a prep for London, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's the difference. What I'm saying is that using it as an excuse for a prep for a race or the different
Yeah,
vibe.
but I think that brings a certain amount of energy.
Right.
Because there's that anticipation, there's that excitement. Don't get me wrong, I'm not slating any races here. Okay, it's just to be absolutely clear.
Yeah.
But I like the slots. I like the Maybank holiday. I did it 1 year. We took the kids there over the bank holiday weekend, and the kids did the mile thingy, whatever it was, and then obviously we had the race. I thought that was fantastic. The fact that was in the Mesa. I get the reasons why they've moved all these things and they've juggled everything around. That's absolutely fine. But I just felt like there was a totally different vibe. That spring vibe about was like a hopeful anticipation about what's to come for the rest of the year. We trained through the winter where it's been like slogging our guts off in the horrible weather, and now we come through and it's just great and loving life. And I think with autumn, and again, this is somebody who likes to train through the summer, there's a little bit more, I don't know, chill vibe about it, a little bit more purposeful about it instead of that excitement about it. I don't know. That's how I kind of feel about them. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard
funny as well, because obviously you got when you start talking about running, we spoke about it actually at National Running Show. We all talk about running now, and we're all thinking about half marathons and marathons, road races, and that sort of thing. We don't really talk about athletics as such, like on the track and that. And with athletics, obviously, all of it is spring, summer, all of it. They don't really they don't have outdoor events today throughout the winter. Well, they'll probably do some of that Diamond League stuff now. But in general, they don't have that winter season. That's either indoors.
Well, they go cross country, don't they?
Correct.
Exactly. And there's reasons for that. And again, you're going to get a different vibe on a cross country race with a load of people getting caked in mud than you are doing a 5,000 meter on the track in London.
Yeah,
so,
you have the season. You train again. There's that traditional thing. It's like anything, isn't it? It's like golf. It's like what's that other thing they play with that bit of wood that you fall asleep watching? Oh,
cricket.
Oh yeah,
cricket.
And you've got
common game.
But it's true. Like you have that anticipation through the winter months. Tennis, another good example. People train really hard and then come out in the season to go through it. I think we're lucky as runners that, in a way, athletics wise, again, put my athletics coach hat on, we have the seasons, but put my running hat on, it's kind of cool that the events run throughout the year, really. And park run's a brilliant example of that. But even like as we said, the guys at Run Through, Fulham 10K, great big event in November, for example.
You just stumbled on something actually that's quite easy to relate to. With parkrun, if we asked everyone and said, would you prefer to do your favourite parkrun at the end of April or the first week in May, or would you prefer to do it second, third week of October? I think everyone would go for May, wouldn't they? April, May. That thought in my head of a parkrun in April, May, when it's spring and you've got the flowers out and it's just the sun shines out, or that fear in October thinking, wake up, what am I going to look out the window and see? What sort of weather is it going to be? Is it going to be crap on the floor?
It's been hammering it down all week.
Yeah, you're right. No, I think you've hit the nail on the head with that. Right? There's definitely a different vibe. Just taking parkrun into consideration.
I think that's human nature in terms of coming out from hibernation over the winter period with the cooler months and things like that. But also, I think it's not harder to train in any season because both have challenges. Summer has its challenge with the heat, winter has its challenge with the cold and the dark and the mental side of things. But I do feel like people seem to come through a winter training session block stronger than they do a summer one. There's something about having to get up, right, when it's pitch black, freezing. You've got to put everything on the radiator to go out, and get all your stuff out the night before because there is a likelihood that you'll just sack it off and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, like, even to myself, when we go over to, Hertford Common, I know Ben's stayed there all night, but when we turn up and he's getting changed, it's like, it's still, it's pitch black and you're thinking, are we mental? But there's something that switches in your brain when those mornings get lighter.
Mm.
And I think that brings an anticipation about the races. Yeah.
I agree with you completely. I mean, I get that it's always a big lift for me that when I finish work and it's still daylight that day, or when the clocks go forward, it's a massive boost. You know, and it gets it's not done, and you're only going from sort of like 5:30 to 6:30, but it's a chasm, absolute massive difference.
Do you think the race calendar makes a bit of a difference, Fordy? Let's just say, you're doing London Marathon, leading up to London Marathon in January, races. There's not many out round. February, again, there's not that many. March starts to pick up a few.
I've always said it. For me, the season, race season, we talk about autumn race season, but the season starts with the winter 10K.
So what I'm trying to get at is then, because in January, February, you're not racing so much, and maybe you're just doing your training. So when it comes to race day, you're feeling good. Whereas if you're doing it like we are, Chicago, look what the races you've done in the last 2 months leading up to it. Maybe that's a bit of fatigue taken out of you. You've been up to Great North Run, you're doing the Saucony 10K, you're doing the Shoreditch 10K, the London X one, all these half marathons, the big half, all of these sort of things. Maybe they're taken out of you a little bit. So by the time you get to your marathon in the autumn, later on, you're like, you've done quite a lot. Whereas that spring one, you haven't got much behind you in that winter. You've just got a damn hard training block behind you.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point.
Yeah,
because you do get distracted, because your calendar gets filled up. You arrange. I find that I'm arranging my marathon plan. Say if I've got a marathon, I'm arranging it around. Oh yeah, well that's big half. I'll do that, and then I'll do. And you have people. They. It's something that I've never done, but lots of people do them. They'll be like, "Oh, I've got 18 miles, so I'll do 5 miles, and then I'll do a half marathon and." Things like that, and then surely that affects like the general sort of like training. That can't be ideal.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you don't want to miss out on stuff.
Yeah, well, there is. And
at the end of the day, ain't that what it's all about?
Yeah, this is the thing in it. And again, the great thing is, I think with running, is that whatever way you are, whatever works for you, you're going to find something. I think that's the great thing. If you're somebody who trains better or likes to train through the winter because it's a bit cooler, and you've got that side of things, or you're like Hayden and you like to go through the summer and that kind of thing. Everybody's different, isn't it? And I think and that's the brilliant thing. There's going to be stuff that you can do week in, week out, like park run and whatever. And I think that's the beautiful thing about it. Again, it appeals. That's why we always go back to what it is at its core. It appeals to so many different people because so many people can use it to benefit them in so many positive ways, and that is fundamentally the great thing about it. And that's why, we spend every Friday night talking about it, or not just Friday nights, really, but most of the time talking about it, because it is one of those things, isn't it? It brings it back to to what it fundamentally is, which is something that's become even more accessible to more people, which I think is brilliant, really, when you think about it, And I think it's probably a good way to finish it, really. So, Beth, where are you volunteering this weekend?
I am park walking tomorrow at Talking Town because it's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, mate!
Thank you.
Is Hayden sending up the helicopter to take you out?
We haven't discussed.
Sure, it could come. Wilco, what's the plans?
Well, next week is one of the most highly anticipated weeks I think I've ever had before I'm running, because we're going to Shoreditch on Sunday, but Monday at Broxbourne we are starting a Couch to 5K group, which I'm really, really excited about. Really looking forward to that. And on the following week, the following weekend, we're going to Vitality, and we've got quite a few of our regulars at Broxbourne on a Wednesday who will be doing their first 10K, their first big London event, and I'm really, really looking forward to taking them and seeing them there and having a great time. So, yeah, I can't wait for next week. It's going to be brilliant.
Have we got a photo sorted out, Wilco, for race morning?
I'm sure we can get on the case with that, and there'll be plenty of us there.
Right.
But, as you can probably anticipate, this week I've got a few things on, so I might have to pass the baton on.
What time is that on Monday?
It is 7:00 in Broxbourne.
7:00.
Yes, if anybody's interested, you can sign up via the app, and you're more than welcome to come.
We get 1 million downloads every week, so you might find somebody who.
Someone might like it. The odd person might rock up.
You never know. That's amazing. What about you, Captain No Nuts? What are you up to?
I am going to fly out to Sydney tomorrow and go and do a park run. I am this weekend. What am I doing? I'm up to Bushy Park tomorrow for park run, and then Sunday we've got a long run with quite a few members of the club over in Richmond Park. So if you're in the area in Richmond Park, 9 o'clock at the Pembroke Lodge, and we've got about 6 or 7 different pace groups, 7 or 8 different loops of the park at different distances. Every single person is welcome. That's Sunday. So yeah, bit of park run and a long run Sunday, and going down tomorrow to support a few guys who are jumping in the duck poo pond again to do the swim circle run.
Oh, they're all going to have Legionnaires disease by the end of it. Nothing. I can't think of anything worse than getting into that place. Honestly, they all need shooting, a lot of them. Okay, right. Just again, pre-warning to everybody, we're not around live for the next 3 weeks on a Friday. On a Monday, I'll be around for a couple of weeks. Obviously, then I'm influencing in Chicago. But we are not live, so we've got a couple of really good pre-records coming out. Don't forget, tickets for the National Running Show go on sale on September the 25th. We've got a code to get you a free ticket coming your way. All right? So just watch out. Make sure you're following us on all the socials. Make sure you're on the emailing list and all that sort of stuff. And again, come on the Saturday, all right? Because we are going to cause absolute carnage, okay? I was pushing my luck a little bit when I try and see what I can get away with.
A little bit.
Yeah. One of them, my suggestions, they just went no. So I might actually do it anyway. But yeah, so check out them. They're coming your way. Good luck to everybody in the Berlin half.
Berlin half?
Berlin full. You can do the half if you want. And actually, just do it twice. And we apologise to obviously everybody in Germany for Hayden's offensive comments tonight. What? Big shout out to Great Run. Thank you very much to them for replying and giving us their side of the story. We do genuinely appreciate that. The fact that they come on. Thanks again to Skechers. Head over to skechers.co.uk to check out the new Aero line. I'm going to be there on Sunday, influencing as you'd expect. And I think, have I forgotten anything else? Do we need to give anyone else?
Chris, if we're not going to be about for 3 weeks, I'd just like to take the opportunity to wish you all the best for Chicago, because you've been absolutely smashing that training plan, mate. And I hope that you get that 10% of good luck that makes you, allows you to achieve all your aims, because you really deserve it the way you've committed yourself to this.
Very kind of you. I appreciate that. Beth, we wish you well over the next few weeks. Next time we see you, we hope that there's been an improvement and you've got some good news for us. And you ain't upside down after being at a spiral date on that. We know.
I've survived quite well.
Yeah, done well. But have you noticed how quiet she got over the last 5 minutes? We know. And lastly, obviously, we want to give a big shout out to Spigo, who once again we need to celebrate the fact that he completed the Sydney Marathon. We'll see you all next week.